के दर निर्धारण करें। राज्यों ने अलग अलग दर निर्धारित किए हैं और अलग अलग तरीके उस दर निर्धारण करने के अपनाए हैं। भार्गव साहब कुछ कहना चाहेंगे इसमें?
See, you have to remember one thing, that when we started testing, the first case was tested in January, 27th of January. After that, in March and April, the cases started growing tremendously, and we had to import all those kits. So it was what we call as a supplier's market at that point in time. Gradually, what happened with the intervention of the government and the Ministry of Science and Technology and startups and the Department of Biotechnology, DST, CSIR, ICMR, they all had certain kits which were made indigenously, locally, and today as we speak, we have validated more than 1100 kits. And once Indian kits were certified and found very good, we have found that there was enough competition not only with the international players but also within themselves, and the prices came crashing down for these kits. So if you look at March, April, the cost of RT-PCR kit was about 1200 rupees, and about 300 rupees was for the VTM and 180 for the RNA. So about 1800 rupees at that point in time was the cost in March, April. Now this has come crashing down to now 75 rupees for the RT-PCR kit, and 37 and 25 rupees respectively for RNA kits and the VTMs, etc. There are other techniques also which have come where we don't need to do a VTM as well, and a dry swab technique can also be done as being propagated. So the cost has come dramatically down. India has started exporting these kits now, and so it has now become the demand is much less than the supply. So therefore the cost has come down.
15.
Pallav Bagla from the Science Magazine and New Frontiers. This adversarial nature of reaction and cross-reaction between the vaccine manufacturers and the people participating in the trials, what does it mean for voluntarism in India? And many of the participants are saying they don't want to participate in trials if this is the kind of adversarial reaction which will happen. And Dr. Bhargav, did you endorse this 100 crore intimidating notice which was served by Serum Institute of India on the person who said there was an adverse reaction, because you are a participant in that trial?
Can I answer first part? Then you can answer the second part. You see, सामान्यतः पल्लव जी अवगत होंगे क्योंकि ये लंबे अरसे से इस सेक्टर को कवर करते हैं। सामान्यतः वैक्सीन्स के डेवलपमेंट में 8 से 10 साल लगते हैं। अभी तक के इतिहास में जिन वैक्सीन्स को कहा जाता था कि ये तुरंत बन गए, वो तुरंत भी 4 साल में बनते थे। यानी फ्रॉम R&D टू प्री क्लिनिकल ट्रायल्स टू phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 used to take 4 years, and everyone globally used to hail that success by saying that such a quick rollout of vaccine. But given the size and the impact of the pandemic, we are trying to crash that timeline of 8 to 10 years, or at best 4 years, into 16 months, 18 months. And not only one, but multiple vaccine players within the country and outside the country are trying to bring about their vaccines within this compressed timeline. So when you have this context, then there is a potentiality that commercial interests would dictate certain strategic actions on part of commercial entities. Governments of the day have nothing to do with it. However, the responsibility of the government is that we must educate the people, because it is the people who would eventually receive the vaccine. So the responsibility of the union government and the state government is to ensure that people are made aware about the safety aspects of vaccine, about the effectiveness of vaccine, and all disinformation is countered promptly. When I say this, I must also tell you that this is not only the sole responsibility of union government and state government, this is also the responsibility of the media, of NGOs, of vaccine manufacturers. They must collectively come together and try to counter misinformation. They must collectively educate people about the safety aspects of vaccine and about the effectiveness aspect of vaccines.
I think you've answered it.
13.
So there are still several restrictions in place for this disease, and yesterday you issued a new advisory. But, government, police is using methods like tear gas and water cannons at a time when COVID is still on the prowl. People are coughing and sneezing and tears in their eyes, and water cannon, it's a droplet transmission. I mean, you know that better than all of us. So what is the health ministry's position on this, sir?
Law and order decisions are taken by the local authorities. Therefore, I would not want to comment on this.
38.
Sir, Sneha from CNN News 18. I wanted to ask you, what is the procedure, and is the government then going to compensate all of those people who suffer any sort of an adverse event after the licensing comes through?
First, there is no connection between adverse events and licensing. These are two standalone processes. And as far as compensation is concerned, this is something that is guided by the law and by I do not want to comment at this stage.
22.
Although there is a mechanism for monitoring of adverse events and prompt reporting, which I have shared in detail in the initial stages.
सर मेरा सवाल सीरम पे ही है. आपने काफी सारे फैक्ट्स क्लियर कर दिए हैं. बस एक छोटी सी क्वेरी है मेरी. क्या जिन्होंने सवाल उठाया कि साइड इफेक्ट्स हुए हैं, क्या वो वैक्सीन ट्रायल से जुड़े हुए थे, उनको वैक्सीन दी गई थी, या फिर ऐसा है कि कुछ साइड इफेक्ट्स हुए हैं लेकिन उनको देख लिया गया और एनालिसिस हो गया, उससे आगे बढ़ गए हैं? क्या वैक्सीन उनको दी गई?
मैंने तो आपको पहले ही निवेदन किया कि जो व्यक्ति ये दावा कर रहे हैं वो अपने दावे को कोर्ट में ले गए हैं, तो इसलिए हमारे लिए ये उचित नहीं होगा कि इस समय हम उस पर कुछ भी कहें. प्रक्रिया क्या है वो मैंने आपको बता दी. प्रक्रिया का पालन हुआ ये भी मैंने आपको बता दिया.
31.
सर इस समय क्योंकि देश की राजधानी में तमाम सरकारी और प्राइवेट अस्पताल हैं और स्वास्थ्य व्यवस्था काफी दुरुस्त है, इसके बावजूद दिल्ली में आखिर में क्यों ऐसी स्थिति हुई? और दिल्ली सरकार की तरफ से ये कहा जा रहा है कि टेस्टिंग बढ़ाने के लिए तो कहा जा रहा है, लेकिन केंद्र सरकार की तरफ से टेस्टिंग लैब और तमाम चीजों को लेकर हेल्प नहीं मिला, उसकी वजह से टेस्टिंग की संख्या कम हो रही है.
दिल्ली में जब भी कोविड के केसेस की संख्या बढ़ी है तो भारत सरकार ने गृह मंत्रालय के नेतृत्व में दिल्ली सरकार के साथ मिलकर स्ट्रैटेजी बनाई है और मिलकर उसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन किया है. इसलिए मैं आपकी बात से सहमत नहीं हूं कि दिल्ली सरकार का कहना है कि उनको सहयोग नहीं मिला, क्योंकि भारत सरकार के गृह मंत्रालय के स्तर पर जितनी बैठकें हुई उसमें दिल्ली सरकार के शीर्षस्थ नेतृत्व सम्मिलित थे और सम्मिलित निर्णय लिए गए, सम्मिलित क्रियान्वयन हुआ. हम तो बल्कि प्रशंसा करते हैं कि हमें अपेक्षित सहयोग मिला.
Number 10.
Hello sir, Milan here from India Today. So whenever such adverse events related to vaccine human trials are reported, there's a sense of hesitancy in the people who listen to these. What is the government's perspective are we looking at some kind of a vaccine hesitancy in people? Because there are some surveys also being done where people are saying that they are hesitant enough to take the vaccine. What's the government's perspective?
There are two aspects to this question. The first aspect I have already addressed when I said that it is collective responsibility of central government, state government, people outside government, media, even vaccine manufacturers, pharma companies, to educate people, make awareness about effectiveness of vaccine, safety of vaccine, so on and so forth. There is an inherent issue of vaccine hesitancy, which may have nothing to do with adverse events. There is a section of population which may feel that they do not require a vaccine. So therefore, whenever such a communication or information dissemination exercise is taken up, one of the aim is to tell people what would be the effect of taking the vaccine and what would be the benefit to the person as well as to the population at large. So this is something that everyone has to collectively do. Having said that, let me also tell you that there is a detailed guideline that the Union Ministry of Health is preparing and would shortly, maybe in the next week, share with the states. And one of the chapters in that guideline deals with communication, addressing the issues of vaccine safety, vaccine संबंधित विषय होते हैं, उस पर जब हम चर्चा करते हैं तो ये बेहतर होता यदि हम पहले इस तरह की जो तथ्यात्मक जानकारी है, फैक्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशन, उसको हासिल कर लें, उसके बाद फिर विश्लेषण करें. तो पूरे देश के टीकाकरण की बात कभी नहीं कही गई है.
Yes, I think that's a good question. The question would depend on the efficacy of the vaccine, number one. And obviously there is a range. It may be effective 60% in someone, 70% in someone else. So efficacy is one issue. The second issue is that our purpose is to break the chain of virus transmission. So if we are able to vaccinate a critical mass of people and break that virus transmission, then we may not have to vaccinate the entire population. That is one point. The second point is the role of masks is also vitally important, and that will continue even after the vaccination, because we are starting with a small population at a time, and therefore the mask will be protective and should continue to be used so as to help in breaking the chain of viral transmission. That has to continue.
Last question, 47.
Hello, sir. So, so I understand that you are not going to comment on the specific case because you believe there's a legal case, although I don't think there's a legal case over there. It's just a legal notice.
So what is your question? Just
yeah, but with regards to why weren't the other participants provided the information that there was such kind of serious adverse event that had happened? And repeating a previous question, is the ICMR endorsing the 100 crore that the damages that they are seeking?
Thank you very much. Yes, sir, would you like to?
ICMR has no role either in endorsing or not endorsing a legal claim filed anywhere in the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much.